Hi children, good morning to all. How are you all? Hope all are doing good and praying to be good. Welcome to another session. So we are in the zone of life process. Already we discussed about three life processes that are nutrition, respiration, transportation. So in the nutrition, how the nutrients will be procured by the person, how the digestion will take place, how it will be absorbed into the blood, we discussed. Next we discussed about the respiration. In respiration, we studied about oxygenation process, how the food is oxygenated or how the blood is oxygenated. The oxygenated blood, how it will be transported by pumping of heart, we discussed. Now in this chapter, we are going to learn about excretion. For every product, there will be the waste. The human body is a machine. It is having many missions, submissions, working. Many organ systems are there. Each and every organ system, it works effectively and it produces the energy. Along with the production of energy, the waste also will be produced. The waste has to be disposed or the waste has to be eliminated. The process of elimination of the waste is nothing but we call it as a excretion. So, in this chapter we are going to learn what is meant by excretion, what are the excretory products, how they will be eliminated. All these concepts we are going to learn. So, let us move over. Excretion is elimination of metabolic waste materials like ammonia, urea, uric acid, etc. from the body. The waste materials, elimination of metabolic waste. Metabolic means energy releasing activities. The resultant of energy releasing activities, they release the waste. When the metabolic activities takes place in the body, the waste substances will be eliminated out of the body. So the waste of metabolic activities are like ammonia, urea, uric acid, they should be eliminated of the body. So if they are not eliminated, what happens? They accumulate in the body cells, they convert into the poison and the toxic substances and they cause damage to the body. They cause different kinds of diseases. Let us see different types of excretion. Ammonotelism, ureotelism, uricotelism. Ammonotelism, ureotelism, uricotelism. Three types of excretory substrates or substances are there. Now let us see. Process of excretion of NH3, ammonia. Ammoniteric animals, aquatic invertebrates, aquatic insects, bony fishes, aquatic amphibians, etc. They used to excrete the ammonia as their excretory waste. So, NH3 is highly toxic. Ammonia is highly toxic. So, excretion needs excess of water. So, ammonia is readily soluble in water, is excreted by the diffusion through the body surface or gills in fishes as ammonium ions. So, kidneys do not play a significant role in its removal of ammonia. So, you can see some animals are there which excrete ammonia as their excretory substance. Now, let us see. Process of excretion of urea. The animals which excrete urea, such animals are called as uretelic animals. So, cartilaginous fishes, terrestrial and semi-aquatic amphibians, frogs, toads, etc., aquatic and semi-aquatic reptiles, alligators, turtles and mammals, etc., they excrete the urea as their excretory waste. In liver, ammonia is converted into less toxic urea. So, it needs only moderate quantity of water for excretion. Some amount of urea may be retained in the kidney matrix of some animals to maintain desired osmolality. So here you can see the animals which animals excrete urea. Animals which excrete urea, such type of excretion we call it as ureotelism. Now, process of excretion of uric acid. It is insoluble in water, so water is not required for excretion. Uricotelic animals, insects, some land crustaceans, land snails, terrestrial reptiles and the birds. Ureotelism and uricotelism are needed for water conservation. So, some animals they used to drink very less content of water. So, in such a type of animals they used to go for such type of excretion. Now, let us see here excretory organs in animals. Protonephridia or flame cells are present in platyhelminthes, rotifers, some annelids, cephalopods and nephridia. Nephridia is the excretory organ in annelids. Next one is Malpighian tubules. Malpighian tubules are excretory organs in insects. Antennal glands, that are green glands, are excretory organs in crustaceans like prawns, etc. The kidneys are excretory organs in higher animals like human beings. All the mammals, the excretory organs are kidneys. Now let us see what is human excretory system. Let us have a clear discussion about the human excretory system. Now, the human excretory system consists of the parts: a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, urinary bladder, urethra. A pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. Now let us see here. Human excretory system. A pair of kidneys. You can find here the right kidney and the left kidney. Kidneys are the main excretory organs in the mammals. Okay, even in a human beings also. A pair of ureters, the tube-like structures are called as ureters. The ureters opens into urinary bladder. The urinary bladder opens into urethra. The end part of our excretory system is urethra. So you can observe here, right kidney, left kidney. The kidneys opens into pelvis. So ureter opens into urinary bladder. The bladder opens to urethra. So this is the structure of human excretory system. So let us see structure of kidney. The structure of kidney, it is in reddish brown in color. It is bean shaped structure and enclosed in tough 3-layered fibrous capsule. It is situated between the levels of last thoracic and third lumbar vertebrae. The length of kidney is 10 to 12 centimeters and the width of the kidney is 5 to 7 centimeters. The thickness of kidney is 2 to 3 centimeters. So the average weight of the kidney is 120 to 170 grams. The average weight of the kidney is 120 to 170 grams. On the concave side of kidney, there is no opening. There is an opening which is called as hilum or hilus, through which blood vessels, nerves, lymphatic duct and ureter enter the kidney. So the hilus allows the entrance of arteries, veins, lymphatic vessels, lymphatic ducts, nerves and the ureter into the kidney to transport, to inject into the blood, enter into the kidney, or the blood get from the kidneys to the filtered blood from kidneys to the heart, and the urine from the kidneys to the urinary bladder to supply. The hilus is the opening part of the kidney. On the concave side of kidney, there is an opening hilum or hilus through which blood vessels, nerves, lymphatic ducts, ureter enter the kidney. Hilum leads to funnel-shaped cavity called renal pelvis with projections called calyces. The projections are called as calyces. A kidney has outer cortex and inner medulla. The outer part we call it as a cortex and the middle part we call it as a medulla. Medulla has few conical projections called renal pyramids. Medullary pyramids projecting into calyces. Cortex extends in between the medullary pyramids as renal columns called columns of Berthin. You can see here the picture clearly, structure of kidney, the parts of the kidney. And the functional unit of kidney is nephron. Each kidney has nearly 1 million tubular nephrons. Nephrons are structural and functional units of kidney. Each nephron has two parts, glomerulus and renal tubule. Glomerulus and renal tubule. What is glomerulus? Glomerulus is a tuft or capillary formed by efferent arteriole, a fine branch of renal artery. Blood from the glomerulus is carried away by an efferent arteriole. Renal tubule. It begins with double-walled cup-like Bowman's capsule which enclose the glomerulus. What is glomerulus? Glomerulus is nothing but a number of blood vessels. Glomerulus plus Bowman's capsule forms the Malpighian body. So this Malpighian body can also call as renal capsule. Renal capsule. What is renal tubules? The tubule continues with proximal convoluted tubule. Shortly we call it as a PCT. Henle's loop and distal convoluted tubule. Shortly we call it as a DCT. Henle's loop is hairpin shaped. It has descending and ascending limbs. The Henle's loop is U-shaped. So it is having descending and ascending limbs. The DCTs of many nephrons opens into collecting duct. Collecting duct extends from the cortex, inner parts of medulla. They converge and open into renal pelvis through medullary pyramids in the calyces. So Malpighian body, PCT and DCT are situated in the renal cortex. Loop of Henle dips into the medulla. The efferent and arteriole emerging from glomerulus forms a fine capillary network that we call it as peritubular capillaries around the renal tubule. A minute vessels of the network runs parallel to the Henle's loop, forming a U-shaped vas recta. U-shaped vas recta. Cortical nephrons, 85% in these. The Henle's loop is short and extends only very little into the medulla. Vas recta is absent or highly reduced. Juxtamedullary nephrons, 15%. This Henle's loop is long and runs deep into the medulla. Vas recta present. You can see here the structure of nephron, the parts PCT, DCT, collecting duct, loop of Henle's, vas recta. The parts you can observe clearly here. So now let us see how the urine formation, physiology of kidney, how the urine formation takes place in the kidney. Process of urine formation in 3 steps. First one is glomerular filtration, next renal absorption, next tubular secretion. Now coming to see the process, urine formation. Glomerular capillary blood pressure causes filtration of blood through the 3 layers. What are the 3 layers? Endometrium, epithelium and basement membrane. Endometrium of glomerular blood vessels, epithelium of Bowman's capsule and basement membrane between these 2 layers. In the picture you can see the parts. Epithelial cells are nothing but are called as podocytes of the Bowman's capsule are arranged in an intricate manner, leaving some minute space called filtration slits. So we call them as a slit pores. We can call them as a slit pores. So epithelial cells, podocytes of the Bowman's capsule are arranged in an intricate manner, leaving some minute space called filtration slits, or we can call them as a slit pores. Almost all constituents of a blood plasma except the proteins pass on to lumen of Bowman's capsule. So about 1100 to 1200 ml of blood is filtered by kidneys per minute. It constitutes 1/5 of the blood pumped out by each ventricle of the heart in a minute. So 1/5 of a blood pumped out each ventricle of the heart for a minute. Almost all constituents of a blood plasma except the proteins pass on to lumen of Bowman's capsule. The amount of glomerular filtrate forms per minute is called glomerulus filtrate, GFR. Normal GFR is equal to 125 ml by minute, 180 liters per day. Glomerulus filtration nearly for a day 180 liters will be takes place. 180 liters of glomerular filtrate is produced daily, but 99% of this reabsorbed by the renal tubules. So normal volume of urine released is 1.5 liters. From the filtrate, glucose, amino acids, sodium, salts, etc. are reabsorbed actively and nitrogenous wastes are absorbed passively. So the first filtered urine we call it as a primary urine. In that primary urine we can reabsorption. Again it will be reabsorbed into the blood, glucose, amino acids, sodium, etc. Passive reabsorption of water occurs in the initial segments of the nephron. 180 liters of glomerular filtrate is produced daily, but 99% of these reabsorbed by the renal tubules. So normal volume of urine released is 1.5 liters from the filtrate. Glucose, amino acids, sodium, etc. are reabsorbed actively and nitrogenous waste are absorbed passively, slowly. Passive reabsorption of water occurs in the initial segments of the nephron. PCT reabsorbs most of the nutrients, 70 to 80% of electrolytes and water. Simply, cuboidal brush border epithelium of PCT increases the surface area for reabsorption. When it is increases the surface area, the nutrients again will be reabsorbed. Nearly 70 to 80% will be reabsorbed. Lupo-Henle maintains high osmolality of medullary interstitial fluid. Descending limb is permeable to water but almost impermeable to electrolytes. This concentrates the filtrate. So in ascending limb, minimum reabsorption occurs. It is impermeable to water but allows transport of electrolytes, filtrates, gets diluted. In DCT, conditional reabsorption of sodium, water will be takes place. Collecting duct extends from the cortex to inner part of medulla. It reabsorbs large amount of water to concentrate urine. It also allows passage of small amounts of urea into medullary interstitium to keep up the osmolality. That means to maintain the salt balanced condition. Cells of PCT and DCT maintain ionic balance and acid-base balance pH of the body fluids by selective secretion of H plus, K plus and NH3 into the filtrate and absorption of HCO3 minus from it. Collecting ducts maintain pH and ionic imbalance of body by the secretion of H plus ions and K plus ions. And see here urine formation at a glance. The red color glomerulus opens into PCT, PCT opens into loop of Henle, loop of Henle opens into DCT, DCT opens into collecting duct. In Bowman's capsule, glomerulus ultrafiltration takes place, primary urine is filtered, and in the PCT, reabsorption, tubular reabsorption will be takes place, amino acids, glucose will be reabsorbed, and the descending ascending limbs will connect to the DCT. In the DCT, tubular secretion will takes place. After tubular secretion, concentration of urine will be takes place in the collecting duct. How the filtration of urine takes place we see. Now let us see urine formation. The flow of filtrate in the two limbs of Henle's loop and the flow of blood through the limbs of vas recta are in opposite directions. This is called as counter current mechanism. Due to the counter current and proximity between Henle's loop and vas recta, osmolality increases from cortex 300 mmosmol to the inner medullary interstitium 1200. This gradient is caused by the sodium chloride and the urea. NaCl is transported by the ascending limb of the Henle's loop, that is exchanged with descending limb of vas recta. NaCl is returned to interstitium by ascending limb of a vas recta. Similarly, small amount of urea enter the segment of a ascending limb of Henle's loop, which is transported back to the interstitium by connecting tubule. Thus, electrolytes and urea are retained in the interstitium and maintain concentration gradient, interstitial gradient in medullary interstitium. So, it enables easy passage of water from the collecting tube to the concentrate, the filtrate, that is nothing but the urine. Thus, DCT and collecting duct produce urine from times concentrated than the initial filtrate formed, nearly 300 to 1200 mmosmol. Let us see the steps. Micturition. It is the release of urine. What is a micturition? The process of elimination of urine or the process of urination, we call it as a micturition. Gradual filling of urinary bladder, which helps to stretching of urinary bladder. The stretch reabsorbs or receptors on its wall send impulses to the central nervous system. So the central nervous system passes on motor message. So contraction of smooth muscles of the bladder and stimulus relaxation of renal sphincter causes the process of micturition, causes the process of urination or causes the process of micturition. So the neural mechanism causing micturition is called as micturition reflex. You can see here how from the urinary bladder information or the signals will send to the brain. The brain passes the signal that we are urged for the urine. So when the signals are reaches to the urinary bladder, then we used to go for urination. Urination is a voluntary action. The neural mechanism causing micturition is called as micturition reflex. An adult human excretes 1 to 1.5 liters of urine, 25 to 30 grams urea per day. Urine is slightly yellow color, watery fluid, slightly acidic. The pH of urine is 6.0 and has characteristic odor. Various conditions affect the characteristics of urine. Urine analysis help in clinical diagnosis of many metabolic disorders and malfunctioning of the kidney. So, glucourine, presence of glucose, and keterourine, ketone bodies in urine indicates the diabetes mellitus, blood sugar. Role of lungs, liver, skin, etc. These are also excretory organs. The lungs remove the carbon dioxide 200 ml per minute and water they will excrete. Liver secrete bile containing bilirubin, biliverdin, cholesterol, degraded steroid hormones, vitamins and drugs. Most of them passes out along with the digestive waste like a fecal matter. Skin, sweat and sebaceous glands. Sweat contains water, sodium chloride, small amounts of urea, lactic acid, etc. So, primary function of sweat is to give a cooling effect on body surface. Sebaceous glands eliminate sterols, hydrocarbons and wax through sebum. Sebum provides protective oily covering for the skin, moisturization for the skin. Saliva eliminates small amounts of nitrogenous waste. Now, regulation of kidney functioning. How the kidney functioning is regulated. It is done by hormonal feedback mechanism involving the hypothalamus, JGA and heart. Changes in the blood volume, body fluid volume and ionic concentration activate osmoreception in the body. So, when body fluid decreases, the osmoreception stimulates the hypothalamus to release antidiuretic hormone, that is a vasopressin. So, it stimulates the water reabsorption of DCT and collecting that. Thus, ADH, antidiuretic hormone, prevents the diuresis and increases the body fluid volume. So, increase in the fluid volume switches off the osmoreceptors and suppresses the ADH release to complete the feedback. ADH constricts blood vessels and resulting in increase of BP. This increases the glomerular blood flow and GFR. So, regulation by GGA. There is a special sensitive region called juxtaglomerular apparatus formed by the cellular modification of DCT and the efferent arteriole at the location of their contact. So, JGA regulates the GFR by renin agenocytism mechanism. A fall in the glomerular blood flow, glomerular blood pressure, GFR activates the JG cells to release the renin. Renin converts the agenotensinogen in blood and angiotensin 1 and further to angiotensin 2 as a vasoconstrictor. So, angiotensin 2 increases the glomerular blood pressure and thereby GFR. Angiotensin 2 also activates adrenal cortex to release aldosterone. So, aldosterone causes the reabsorption of sodium and water from the distal parts of the tube. This also leads to an increase in blood pressure and GFR. So, ANF check on the renin agenation mechanism. Angiotensin mechanism. Increase in blood flow to the atria or heart causes the release of atrial natriuretic factors, ANF. ANF causes vasodilation, dilation of blood vessels, and thereby increases the blood pressure. So, aldosterone causes reabsorption of sodium and water from the distal parts of the tube. So, this also leads to an increase in blood pressure and GFR. Let us see the disorders of the excretory system. Accumulation of urea in blood due to the inflammation, malfunctioning of kidney. It may lead to kidney failure. Malfunction means not working well. Next, renal calculi. Stones or insoluble mass of crystallized salts, oxalates, etc. form with the kidney. Formation of kidney stones. Next one is glomerulus. It is the inflammation of a glomerulus. Hemodialysis. It is the dialysis mission. It is the process of removal of urea in a patient with uremia. So, the dialyzing unit, artificial kidney, contains coiled cellophane tube surrounded by dialyzing fluid. So, it has same composition of plasma except nitrogenous waste. So, blood drained from a convenient artery is pumping into the dialyzing unit. After adding the anticoagulant like heparin, the porous cellophane membrane of the tube allows the passage of molecules based on the concentration of the gradient. So, as nitrogenous wastes are absent in the dialyzing fluid, these substances freely move out, thereby cleaning the blood. The clear blood is pumped back to the body through the vein after adding anti-heparin to it. Next, kidney transplantation. It is the ultimate method in the correction of acute renal failures. So, a functioning of kidney is taken from a donor. So, it is better to receive kidney from close relative to minimize the chances of rejection by immune system of the host. So, if someone willing to give the kidney, so one kidney can maintain the work of both kidneys. Okay, so when the kidney failure is taken, we can replace the kidney by the process of kidney transplantation. So, we will have a small video about the excretion process. So, let us see excretion process. The biological process involved in removal of harmful metabolic waste from the body is called excretion. As in other processes like nutrition, respiration, transportation, different organs use different strategies to excrete the waste out of the body or to eliminate. In case of unicellular organisms, wastes are removed from the body surface into surroundings water by the process called diffusion. But in case of cellular organisms, specialized organs evolved to perform the excretion, like multicellular organisms. Let us see excretion in human beings. The chief organs that involve in the excretion is kidneys. The excretory system of human beings consists of pair of kidneys, right kidney and left kidney, right ureter and left ureter, pair of ureters, they opens into urinary bladder. Urinary bladder opens into urethra. Kidneys are located in the abdomen on either side of the backbone. Kidney is the basic filtrate unit. So it consists of very thin walled blood capillaries. Each capillary clusters associated with the cup-shaped end of the tube called filtered. They will collect the urine. Each kidney has large number of filtration units called nephrons. So the waste products nitrogenous waste that are collected from the blood. The produced urine passes through the ureters, urinary bladder, and store urine in the urinary bladder and release outside through the urethra. See that renal pyramids in the kidney. The process of urine formation takes place in the steps. That is filtration. Next one is reabsorption. Next one is secretion. So let us see the process of filtration. The nitrogenous waste such as urea, uric acid are removed from the blood through the kidney. So the Bowman's capsule, the filtration takes place. The process of urine formation takes place in the nephron. And the reabsorption, some substances like glucose, amino acids, salts, measure of water which are filtered along with the nitrogenous waste will be reabsorbed. The amount of water reabsorbed depends on the excess water and dissolved waste along with the waste. Secretion, reabsorption, compounds of a waste are secreted into the blood when the urine flows through the tubular part nephron. The urine formed in the kidney enters into the long tube called ureter. Ureter connected to the kidney and other connected to the urinary bladder. So the urinary bladder, until the pressure of urinary bladder leads to the urge, they will pass the urine. The pressure to urge pass urine passes through the urethra. So the urination passes through the urethra. How can we hold urine until they reach to the urge passing of urine? So urine passes out through the urethra. How can we hold urine until reaches to the urge to pass the urine? It is a muscular organ, the bladder. So it is connected to the nervous system. So it controls the nervous system controls the urge of urine. So the process of passing out is called as urination. Artificial kidney, hemodialysis process. Kidneys are one of the vital organs for the survival. Filtration of urine artificially other than by kidneys is called as hemodialysis. So, in abnormal ill health conditions like infectious injuries, restriction of blood flow, kidneys will reduce the function of kidney. So, the accumulation of poisonous or toxic waste in the body sometimes may causes to the death of the person. It leads to the person. In case of kidney failure, an artificial kidney can be used. You can see an artificial kidney is a device used to remove the nitrogenous waste produced from the blood through the process of hemodialysis. Artificial kidney contain number of tubes which is semi-permeable lining suspended in a tank filled with the dialysing fluid. That is a dialysing fluid. This fluid has some osmotic pressure as the blood, except that is lack of nitrogenous waste substances. So one line connected to the artery, it connected to the one end of the dialysis device where the blood is collected for the patient for a filtration. So during this passage, the waste products from the blood passes into a dialysis fluid by the diffusion. So the purified blood is pumped back to the vein of the patient, which is connected to the device, dialysis device. Function of kidney, but is different since there is no reabsorption. So now you watch that video how the artificial kidney works. When there is no process of artificial kidney, if they want a permanent solution, kidney transplantation. So if the kidney damages, waste disposable not takes place, the waste will remains in the body and cause the toxics, accumulate the toxic substance to the body and cause poison. So the excretory system plays a key role to clean the human body, complete human body, and maintain the salt balance content, homeostasis condition, osmotic balance, homeostasis balance. So this is what about the process of excretion. In the next video, let us have excretion in plants, how the waste substances will be excreted by the plants. Hope see you soon, children.